People deluded, I'm back again. First and foremost, I'd like to say, technically good morning, good afternoon, good evening. As someone likes to point out, good night to some of you out there. Now, obviously, typical Saturday, I've gone to the gym, I've ran some errands, I've been showered up, and I'm actually about to go on do a live stream with Turkish, and I will be doing one with Rants and Bants on their respective channels. And I thought, I've got some time to kill. I want to kill some time, and I actually want to do a live with you guys. And to be honest with you, I know I'm not lazy. I'm one for known for work rate and the rest of it, people. But I can't lie. I can't be bothered to set up my camera and things. I can't lie to you. The shadow behind me is peeing me off, and it's a lesson learned. And I know a lot of you are gonna get onto me about moderators and things. But yeah, man, I believe my live with Turkish that will be going on is at 12:30. So obviously I'm not gonna be here too long, people. But thank you very much to the 10 people so far tuning in. Let's get these numbers up. And as usual, please make sure you're liking, commenting, subscribing. Done know my guy, oh my man, you do not sleep and you watch everything. You're a madman still. Nathan, another, nice contributor. Thank you for your kind words. Done know Alex, man, you're there. And obviously big up Jonathan doing his errands around the day, obviously while listening to me. I don't know about GOAT, that's massive praise, my guy, but we go and we go. There's another comment. Big up to Kante of these YouTube streets. Don't know Ramos, man. Love for that. But let's crack on now. I know a lot of you have, oh crap, before I carry on, you lot are starting to come in now. All the tugs are arriving. All of you lot are tuning in. I promise you lot, we're gonna get a moderator in it, people. I'm gonna pattern a moderator after this weekend. I'm gonna look into that and start doing that. So if I miss your messages, apologies, people. And obviously I'll take a couple questions and that at the end. But let's crack on now. I know a lot of you have been seeing this Maguire business, and I wanted to speak about it because you lot know me. I like to speak about the neutral topics and things, but I will kind of waited. As you lot know, when an incident like this arises, there's a lot of people sensationalizing it, writing their own stories and carrying on a certain sort of way, people. So I think I've left it, let's call it a day. And as you lot already know, and if you don't, Maguire's been, I believe over in Greece with some friends, and long story short, he's got into a scruff with someone and he's been arrested. And I think a number of people have been arrested. Obviously, first and foremost, I do have to say, I'm not defending anybody because I don't know what's happened, but I have to say, we have to consider many variables when speaking about this. Let's remember, and I'm not saying any fans of a particular club did this, but we all know, being a professional footballer, people forget they're human. People take things over the top beyond banter. If he was attacked or was struck first and he's defending himself, that's cool. Obviously, if he's carrying on a certain sort of way, being a Manchester United captain, obviously being an England international, being a a massive signing for United in 80 million, being a fairly big household name in the domestic game, you want to see him carrying on a certain sort of way. So we obviously do condemn what's happened without knowing the facts. I do have to say, without actually getting into that and cracking on with the nuts and bolts of that, I do think, and really we've been down the street, as you lot know, people, we already know the case of how the media like to portray things. We know the elephant in the room is, according to the complexion of your skin, kind of judges how a story will be told. Obviously, rightly so, a lot of outlets have condemned Maguire and asked him what he's doing. But I can't lie, people. There was more energy for Sterling getting a tattoo and certain other things, and Pogba dancing at a family wedding and things like that than this is getting. And I do think there is, the media outlets have to take a long, hard look at themselves, because what is this? There's barely anything. I'm even seeing some papers kind of say that it's out of character, and it might be out of character, but it's the sort of connotations and the stories. And as an ethnic minority myself, you're kind of tired. You want one rule for everybody. If you're wrong, condemn. If you're doing well, praise correctly. And it seems like the lines have been blurred, really and truly, because like I said, I'm seeing reports say things along the lines of, why is ideal role model Harry Maguire got into this fight, almost saying, kind of reiterating the logic, like he's a good kid, he's just made a bad decision, which might be the case, people. But at the end of the day, Sterling doesn't get that same token. Neither does Callum Hudson-Odoi. Neither will Jadon Sancho when he moves to this club. I was about to say to this club. I'd love it to be Arsenal, but to this country, it's upsetting. And as a black man, I'm gonna call a spade a spade. It is quite tiring seeing this. I'm not saying to jump on Maguire's back and witch hunt him, but it's just that the way stories are being told are ridiculous, people. Let me even find it. There was one article that literally said, how did model professional Harry Maguire end up in custody in Greece? It's the terminology, when really he's been in a fight. You know, he's been in a fight. I get it. You know, he could be a model professional, but could you see a headline being written like Sterling? Subconsciously, that tells people like, oh, he's a good guy. There's just something happened. It might not be his fault, which could be true. But again, tell the story for what has happened, people. And again, the latest on it, I think he's been transferred out of Mykonos. I can't say that name. So I was well, the region of Mykonos. You lot know me. I can't pronounce for shit. So I didn't want to say that. And you know, the whole of London is going to that sort of region of Greece, to be fair. But the latest is obviously he's been arrested. He's been transferred. And the actual articles I've been reading, I've copied and pasted. Said, well, this is from Man United statement. Man United have been made aware of an alleged incident involving Captain Harry Maguire in Mykonos on Thursday night. The England defender, 27, has been transferred from Mykonos to nearby island of Soros by ship in a police vehicle after reportedly being arrested following the alleged incident. Manchester United said in a statement, the club is aware of an alleged incident involving Harry Maguire in Mykonos last night. Contact has been made with Harry and he is fully cooperating with the Greek authorities. Patrolling police cars in the area of Mykonos intervened and normalized a dispute between citizens. However, 3 foreigners involved in the incident turned against them, insulting and hitting an officer with his fist. People, I didn't even know that. People, I'm not even going to cap. I did not even know he attacked an officer. And again, I don't know if this is true, because I listen, in my domain, I don't necessarily trust police and trust authorities saying certain things. So I'm going to give Maguire that sort of courtesy. But again, the logic, could you imagine if that was, and this ain't if it was him, this would be sort of video. If it was someone else, it'd be a madness. Could you imagine a black man, England captain, you know, not England captain, Man United captain, played for England, smacking an officer? You know, the headlines write itself. You're being condemned, you're being witch hunt. And again, I'm not saying to attack Maguire, because we all make mistakes, we can all be provoked and stuff, but this is disgraceful. This is not how you carry yourself on. If he was attacked by, you know, a member of the public, whether they were other foreigners or people from the island, that's a different thing if he's defending himself. If he's lashed out and, I don't know, got drunk and carried on a certain sort of way and extended that to the police, then that's something else, and things like that. So we'll have to see. One of the detainees then tried to offer money so that the trial against them would not be completed. The arrested men were taken to the Soros prosecution office. So again, people, I don't want to say, you know, that could have been one of Harry Maguire's boys saying, how much can we pay to make this go away? But again, you know, if you was to rule out, do certain averages, you can probably imagine that Maguire, being the Premier League footballer, is the one that said, you know what, mate, I tell you what, how much, sort of thing. So if somebody's bribed someone's attacked an officer, and someone's conducted themselves in a sort of kerfuffle in the street and in a foreign country, what does this tell you, people? This is a Mazzolini. Like, this is quite disgraceful, and this isn't how you should carry on. And you know, the media language is key, because you lot should know the way the media portrays the stories tells most people in the public how they should take it. Many people are not critical thinkers. Many people can't think for themselves, as you lot already know, folks, people. So it's just going to keep burdening on things, and I just like to ask the media services to have a long, hard look at themselves. So, you know, gone on to say it would be appropriate at this point to judge Maguire or the other 2 men who were arrested after the alleged fracas and spent the rest of the night in a police cell. But there is nothing in Maguire's past, on or off the pitch, to suggest he's the kind of person who would typically be involved in this kind of incidents. You see what I'm talking about, people? You see the way the language is portrayed in an article, where if you say if this was Raheem Sterling, and you bring up the fact that sadly his dad, you know, died. I think his dad was shot, and obviously, you know, coming from Jamaica and the gun tattoos, and you know, growing up in Northwest, you can see how the stories are going to be portrayed. You're almost condemning Raheem Sterling, where you're making out that this guy is at worst an innocent man who's just had a moment of madness, and kind of, you know, trying to give him a blight. And I think that's quite I think that's quite upsetting, people. Apologies, somebody's spamming. You need to come out, man. You need to grow up, man. It's almost 12 o'clock on a Saturday, and providing them virgin antics, man. Relax. This is why we need moderators in a quick thing. But moving forward, you know, this is the logic of the article. This is the article I've been reading, people, and it went on to talk about his good disciplinary record at Man United, the fact of his character, and the fact that so early on in his career he was handed the Manchester United captaincy and things like that. And again, it's how the story is told which upsets me. Again, there's too many agendas, and it's the unconscious biases, people. Trust me, Fabio, bro, is fully virgin, and there's nothing wrong with being one of them, but it's just ain't the way that Donny was carrying on, my guy. It does not scream like someone who's got something positive to do. If you want to sit down and listen to what I'm saying, that's cool. If you want to go and do what you need to do, you know, to advance your life or take a day off, that's cool. But He's moving mad. You saw it, you saw it yourself, man. I see people commenting about mods. We'll get onto that, people. You know, off topic. I know you will watch the Europa League final. In an ideal world, Arsenal would have been there. It wasn't meant to be, and I hope the players were watching that and thinking, "What if?" But Inter Milan, man, it was a bit mad for Inter Milan folks, man. I mean, you know, they took the lead, and that game had everything, man. It had De Jong, who's been out the side for Seville, come into the side in the latter stages of the cup, scored. You know, Diego Carlos conceding penalties, loves doing it since the Europa League's got to the advanced stages. You know, Lukaku missed a big chance, and obviously the own goal. I think that was a super final, really and truly. And it's sad that the fans couldn't witness that, man. Seville, it really is Seville's cup, and you know the ghost of Unai Emery seems to live on with Seville, and you know. I hope Reyes is looking down from heaven and smiling at that sort of thing. So it was a good moment. And the Champions League's obviously tomorrow. PSG versus Bayern Munich. I don't know. I don't know who wins that, because obviously I got to go with my guy Gnabry. I think, you know, Bayern Munich got way too much collectively, and you know they've got that German efficiency. They've got that, you know, what I like about the Germans and people like Muller, they're not here for the romance in football. They're just here to smash things up in a positive sense, and they go and do that. Trust me, my guy. Trust me. Don't know, man. Thank you for your super chat. Trust me, man. I'm not gonna cap. I don't know what you said, but if it's a salute thing, then don't know. Seville did deserve it, my guy. You're fully correct in Seville deserving it. You threw me off. Yeah, man. So like I said, as for the Champions League, Gnabry, I got to root for Gnabry to win that, my guys. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I just think Bayern Munich collectively have too much about them. They've got that German efficiency, not here for romance. For PSG, obviously, you can't rule out a side with Mbappe and Neymar. They have got Di Maria. They have got quality. And at the end of the day, it's a final. Who knows what could happen? And it will throw up some interesting debates. You know, I win on both hands, because if PSG wins, the Neymar agenda is coming out. People said he shouldn't have left Barcelona. Disregarding the fact of, forgive me if I'm wrong, people, when was the last time Barcelona went to a final since he left? I'm not critiquing that decision. I'm just saying, when you look at how Barcelona's been ran recently and their recent failures, and the fact that allegedly Messi wants to leave, whether that's pressure to the club to fix up or not, you can't necessarily judge them. You know, I think PSG have enough about them, but at the same time, it's really what Omar's saying. I think PSG aren't strong enough to beat Bayern Munich, but it's a final. Anything can happen, and it's going to come down to the final moments. I know Bayern Munich smokes Barcelona, but you got to remember, at times Bayern Munich even themselves looked a bit frail defensively, and Barca looked like they could have cut them open and things like that, my dudes. So I don't know, man. It goes either way. If I had to bet my life savings on it, I'd say Bayern Munich, but I don't want to rule out PSG. But we'll be here to speak about that tomorrow, people, really and truly. When you look at Barcelona, obviously, I'm sure a lot of you have found out Koeman is now the gaffer. I know a lot of them, you don't know Koeman and Barcelona. You know, he understands what Barcelona should be as a footballing institution. He's obviously a former player. You know, the Ronald Koeman that's been the Holland manager, and, you know, previously at Everton fans or other people that's had the courtesy of him being the manager, might say something differently, but you know, he's a short-term fix. He's someone that understands what's going on. It'll be interesting to see what they do. You've heard a lot of talk of Luis Suarez going to back to Ajax allegedly. You've heard they want to move on Jordi Alba. You've heard they want to move on Busquets, who's contracted until 2023, and I'm pretty sure, forgive me if I'm wrong, was linked around 2016 times to Man City, has the same agent as Pep Guardiola. You know, considering the role he plays in midfield and the fact that he can play as a halfback, could you see, you know, Man City signing Busquets? I can't, but at the same time, it sounds feasible. And when you look at Busquets, I do think, I'm not going to lie, as someone who's not watching Barca religiously, and I don't think it should be the case, but I think you'll see De Jong play better when Busquets moves on, because it does look like De Jong is unsure of himself. You know, there has been times he's shunning that Barcelona side, but for me, I thought De Jong would have adapted a bit better. And for me, you know, he's a quality player, but when you're at Barcelona, it's a different sort of standard. And at times he's looked unsure. He shined playing in a slightly more midfield advanced role. He shined playing next to Busquets. He shined playing to the right of Busquets. But at times, he's looked a bit unsure of himself. And he's still a young man. Maybe a lot of it is mental. But I think you'll see a better De Jong when they sort out their midfield. And for me, having De Jong and Arthur, he's losing both of them is a bit mad. Majid, I fully forgot Koeman was at Southampton as well, you know. So yeah, man. Then again, my guy, you know, obviously I hear that. I fully hear that and stuff like that. And I know the Barcelona squad isn't fully patterned the way we all would accustom a Barcelona side to be, my dude. But true say, some managers are better with better players, you know. You know, Koeman might be better with a Messi and a Suarez and all of these sort of players, where Southampton, with the exception of a Mane and these sort of players that they had at the time, they're not really, you know, the quality players. And I think with all due respect, Mane's quality, but you know what I mean. You know, Barcelona 9 times out of 10, every player should kind of be world class. So if they get back to that, surely he's a manager that might be able to shine with better players. He's been linked with Memphis Depay. I'm not too sure if that's going to materialize to anything, but we'll have to see, man. But you know, I'm a big fan of Busquets. I find it hard to really conceive that a club would want to move Busquets on, but he, you know, the game's kind of, I don't want to say the game's past Busquets, but his time at Barca, it looks like they need to renew it. You would have thought De Jong, Arthur, and maybe somebody else would have been top quality for them. You know, I like this guy potentially says off topic, you know, Koeman is a stopgap. You know, you look at his age, he probably is that. And Xavi keeps talking about wanting to come to the club, and it seems like when it's down to it and he needs to actually move, he's not on it. Maybe he wants to, you know, wait till everything is patterned and in its right place, people. I'm not too sure. Moving away from that though, people, and slightly off topic, you not know me, I don't like to talk about this. I don't like when fans talk about money. Oh, Pep's overrated because he spent money. Oh, Ozil was bought for this money, so he needs to be doing this. Pogba needs to be doing that. I hear that. I think there's logic in that. But I think you don't know what I'm talking about. And there's just some fans that hide behind all of that sort of stuff, people. 1 second before I carry on. My guy DG, in the future, do you see yourself pursuing UEFA management certificates? Maybe, potentially, why not? But that will cost a lot of money, and I'm not rich, my dude. So yeah, man, why not? I'd love to. But back to, like I was saying, I don't like to speak about that. I'm a big fan of Pep Guardiola. I'm a big fan of what he's given to the game. I'm a big fan of how Pep Guardiola has innovated the game. But this season in particular, for a number of years, let's cut the crap. Yeah, he's underachieved in Europe. You know, he's a certified manager. He's the best ever, one of the best ever, arguably. You know, I cannot speak higher of Pep Guardiola. Truly a footballing mastermind, sort of thing. But you know, by the same energy I'm giving you to put you to these high standards, I'm judging him by himself, and I'm looking at it. The Bayern Munich thing, you didn't really succeed in the Champions League or do anything credible there, considering they won the treble before you came. I don't necessarily agree with he's a failure there, because the players, you listen to how all the players speak about him, and you can still see the effects of him there. But, you know, for the harsh fan who sits there and says, no, Messi, you ain't done nothing, it gives them energy. And the whole City thing, of course, with the Prem and the competitive nature is different. But this season in particular, I'm looking at Pep Guardiola really kind of funny, because I'm looking at it. Liverpool smoked you out the league. Now, Liverpool, give credit to Liverpool. I'm not downplaying them, but disregarding Liverpool and focusing purely on City, you know, City smoked themselves. I hear the fact that Laporte got injured and other factors, but for me, Pep Guardiola's been around the block. He knows himself better than most. Injuries can derail a season, but they shouldn't really knock it off to the effect they had. You know, the amount of, I ain't got it all to hands, but I'm sure when you look at the draws and the losses and the goals conceded and the things like that, I'm sure Pep Guardiola, there's a lot of first-time evers in his career this year. And so he's lost the league by a landslide. I think the Champions League, you know, forgive me if I'm wrong, they beat Real Madrid. I can't even remember really, but they got past that round, and it was all for nothing, because yet again, he's kind of overcomplicated things. Yes, there was the Sterling miss and many other factors, but he kind of overcomplicated things. And I even think a couple of times in the Champions League, in the group stages, when he plays against a Lyon and things like that, they might not lose, but they might not lose, but Lyon and these teams typically outplay them. And I think that's the case of many English teams specifically when they play European teams, because I just think they're better coach sides. They understand the game collectively a bit better, and I think it's a culture shock when we play. So I'm not too sure, but you know, arguably any other manager in Pep Guardiola's position, as much as I love him and got a lot of time for him, could lose their job or would lose their job. You know, I don't like to be the guy to speak about money, but did he not get Angelino for a decent fee, then loaned him out? Cancelo ain't been a success like that. Like I said, for the amount of players you've got in that squad and the manager you are, Pep Guardiola, you know, Laporte being injured shouldn't really kick it up, really disrupt the season. You know, you've got John Stones, who, as much as I like John Stones, has he developed a bit of it? He has to take responsibility, but same time, why hasn't he kicked on under you? You know, there's several reasons. And when you look at it, another manager might have lost their job. You know, he's got out tactically done in Europe again. He's got blown out domestically by the league. He spent a lot of money. You know, you're seeing players like Jadon Sancho leave and other players of that sort of ilk or potential because they don't believe in a pathway. And I know, you know, they're not here for young players. They're here to win the Champions League. But does Manchester City of today, obviously, does it look like they're going to do anything in the Champions League? They've got the cash, of course. They've got the team, of course. But at the same time, they don't look like a team that you're going to take seriously in Champions League in comparison to the other clubs. Because obviously, I'm an Arsenal fan. I can't really talk like that. But they just don't look tactically of that ilk. They don't look collectively of that ilk, and I just don't know how it's going to change. And another manager would probably lose their job in Pep Guardiola's shoes. People at times, over the course of the season, like even there was one game against Newcastle. I think Newcastle lost, but I was really looking at Pep Guardiola and the team. Like Newcastle have your number here. Steve Bruce last season played quite well against the top teams. Moving away from that though, people, and actually it's in the title and I forgot to speak about it. What's his face? Ben Chilwell seems to be joining Chelsea. I'm a fan of Ben Chilwell. The first thing I was looking at with Leicester is when you consider the Maguire fee, can they twang other teams? And it seems like Chelsea, they're not with that. You know, you look at I forgot the lady's name. Chelsea fans will know, but I'm not too sure if she's the sporting director or anything. But that lady at Chelsea who deals with the transfers is a very respected lady in her fields, and she does her job very well. People, she does not like to be held to ransom. She sticks to her guns, and she is very good at her role. And just some of the things I've been hearing and seeing at Chelsea, I'd like to see Arsenal kind of carry on with. So to see what it's been like, 50 million for Chilwell. Maybe in the grand scheme of things, it's overpaying if you just was to look at Chilwell and the way money's gone. But I think in the grand scheme of things, I think they could. Yeah, that's it, my guy, Marino. She's sick. But I think in the grand scheme of things, collectively, I don't think it's overpaying, because obviously you've got the English tax, you've got to pay that on Chilwell. When you look at someone like Tierney, we've got a better player for half the price, of course. But considering, he's decent, he's a good player, he is one of the best in the league, might not be the best, but he's a calm left back, like somebody said. He's 23, he's got the marketability, I guess, being English. Big up my guy Turkish. Like I said, with Turkish, we're going to be going live in half an hour, so make sure you check out his channel. But like I was saying with Chilwell, I don't think there's too much resale value, but at 23, it's there. It's a decent fee. Crucially, Lampard's got his man as well, folks. That's who he's wanted. It seems like Chilwell was the guy that Chelsea wanted and was the outstanding candidate that they wanted to go for. They've got him. I like Chilwell a lot, man. I really like Chilwell. I just think as an outsider looking in, when you look at Chilwell, it does look like he's got a problem when he plays against a fullback that's got a bit of tech or a bit of pace, and someone that wants to really stand him up 1v1 and do something against him. I think he really struggles with that. But I think he's a left back that plays the football that Lampard wants. He's Lampard's man. So yeah, they're doing their thing. The Athletic, for what it's worth, have said, or specifically David Ornstein have said, people, Chelsea are close to reaching an agreement with Leicester City to sign their England left back Ben Chilwell. Lampard had identified the 23-year-old as his first choice to fill the position this summer, and it's understood a deal worth 45 to 50 million is close to being agreed. The club, led by director Marina Graszkowska, forgive me for mispronunciations, I need to hear someone say that one, had to weigh up whether to commit such a significant outlay on the left back, but there has been no serious considerations over other options for the position. So it screams like that is their man. That's the man they want to go for. That's firmly the man. So admittedly, again, I'm not too sure, because a club like Chelsea, you've got all the scouts and all the expertise in the world. I would like to believe you've got more than one target, because if this Chilwell thing didn't happen, what would happen apart from that then? Who would be the other target? Because the Chelsea fans I speak to, they're not on another season with Alonso and obviously Emerson. It seems like the lesser of two evils sort of talk. So they've got a left back. You hear talk of even bringing in Thiago Silva. I'm sure Chelsea fans wanted a centre half with a bit more longevity. Upamecano is the flavour of the month. They were linked with Gabriel, who could be going to Arsenal, could be going to United, depending on what you read every day. But Thiago Silva, it could be decent. Again, he screams experience. Obviously, the one thing you're going to have to ask is, has he got the legs for the Premier League? But at the end of the day, if he proves he's got the legs, then the league is irrelevant. You have to wonder what contract he's going to get, because I know Chelsea were willing to bend their 1-year extension sort of thing for past 30-year-olds in the cases of Willian and I believe David Luiz. But are they going to obviously give him a 2, maybe even 3-year deal? Probably not. And obviously commit to his wages. I don't think he's going to get PSG money, but you'd imagine he's going to get a decent thing. Maybe he'd be prepared to concede it. Say, listen, I've earned a lot as a professional footballer anyways. I've been at PSG. I swear that PSG players don't get taxed, or that might just be Monaco, or the tax prices might be better. I've made my money, There's a chance to play in the Premier League. There's a chance to obviously play for a team that's expected to challenge for proper stuff, in a sense. Obviously, the London aspect is one thing. Obviously, his good friend David Luiz and former teammate in not only David Luiz, but Willian. And there's a bunch of Brazilians in London and South Americans in London anyways, at other clubs collectively. So this could all swayed him and stuff. And I wouldn't necessarily cast off or be angry at the signing of Thiago Silva. But like I asked with Arsenal when they make these signings, people, they've got they've got to hit the ground running. My man said he's 36. I thought he was 35. So again, surely probably only signing a 1 year contract, which would be silly. Apparently, he's expected to make his last appearance for PSG, obviously in the final. He turns 36 in September. This article said at the right time, people. So we'll have to see. We'll actually have to see what happens on the before Maguire. Speaking of centre halves, on the Gabriel front, people, depending on what you read, it does change. You're hearing talk of Man United are talking with his agent and stuff like that. You're also hearing that while they're interested, they're in discussions. Any talk of suggesting that deals are going to be advanced or elsewhere. The most positive news I've seen is he could be an Arsenal player in the coming days, as early as this weekend, depending on who you read these things from. It's just a case of when, not if. He's had his medical and all of these things. But again, until I see him holding the shirt, who knows? But DiMarzio said Arsenal could close the deal for Gabriel on Saturday, assuming the player no longer wants to wait for Napoli, which appears to be the case. But the Independent said Manchester United have advanced their interest in Lille's centre-half Gabriel, just as it seems though Arsenal were on the break of finally completing a deal for the Brazilian. Man United renewed discussions with the representatives on Thursday, despite the Brazilian having agreed a deal with Arsenal and have asked for the defender to delay his decision. And I have also seen people saying that Arsenal have upped their offer. So this could have all been scare tactics from Lille to inflate, sort of interest in Gabriel, and as a byproduct make us want to up our bid or increase our offer, in which they've got what they've been sought people. So I want Gabriel, I want to get that over the line, but until it's done, who knows, people. Wolves have obviously been the latest club to be linked with Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Personally, I don't want to let Maitland-Niles go. I want Maitland-Niles to lock down the fullback position. But if we do need to raise funds, sadly, he's a candidate. And Wolves, I don't know if they've got him with playing him at fullback. I don't know if they've got him playing in midfield, but that's a decent move for him. They're playing in, are they in Europe next year? They could be in the Europa League. I should have checked the table, but they're a team expected to do things. They're a team trying to eventually become a Champions League team. So being part of that, or aspiring to be part of that, could be up his street. Personally, I want Maitland-Niles to lock down the fullback position, but he clearly does have interest. He's clearly interested by, allegedly, Spurs wanted him, Newcastle, Wolves, Brighton. And as much as I don't want him to leave, the club might look at it and say, we've got Bellerin, we've got Suarez. Suarez has signed a 4-year deal. Bellerin's 25, 26. Maitland, you can leave. We'll get our 30 million. You've been a success because you've made 100 appearances for the club coming from the academy. We get 30 million. We're laughing, people. And like someone said, Doherty is better than him as well, so he would struggle, but he'd present a decent option to fight for it. I want Ainsley to lock down that fullback position, man, really, really and truly. Don't know my guy Chris, man. Yeah, so Wolves haven't got Europe, but they're a team expected to compete for that. So we'll see, man. I'm not even going to get into the hour talk, people, but you lot know me. I would love him to come to the club. Apparently, Juventus are the front runners, so we'll have to see. So yeah, we've spoken about Harry Maguire. We've spoken about what I wanted to speak about in this random sort of thing. So we might as well. What are you lot telling me, people? I haven't been looking at this for a while, man. Let's see what's going on. How do you feel about the Community Shield? Do you mean Community Shield in general, like the thoughts on the cup, or with Liverpool in mind? Thoughts on the cup in mind. It's Community Shield, isn't it? Like it's silverware. I'm not trying to disrespect it and things like that, but it is only relevant if your team wins it and allows you to kind of count it towards trophies. That being said, typically it's a big game because it's the league winners versus the cup winners. So it's bragging rights. It's a game played at Wembley. There is silverware. You do get a medal, and it is the curtain opener. And while it isn't going to decide your season for good or worse, for me, if you have a preseason is about, righting the wrongs, learning and things like that. So for me, I look at the Community Shield definitely when Arsenal win it and saying, I'm not going to draw conclusions on the final, but for me, it's kind of, I want to see what we've been working on in pre-season and see what's kind of happening in that game. Like, are we going to play with some, be switched on defensively? Are we going to see a better performance? Like I said, you can't draw conclusions, even if it is positive or not. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it, my guy, man. That's it, really. What else have we got, man? I've missed out. Bear your questions. Like I said, people, at 12:30, make sure you all head over to Turkish's channel. We're going there, people. Paul said, DG, are we getting Thomas Partey? I hope so, my dude. I hope so, but I don't know, my dude, man. I really don't know. I would like him, you know. If you believe reports, we're getting Gabriel, we're getting Thomas Partey, we're trying to hustle peas for Aouar. So we'll see, you know. I don't know. I do think we need Aouar and Partey, just even if it's not them names, you know, the two aspects. We need a box-to-box man, and we need someone who can break the lines and wants to get onto the ball. That's the two profiles to which they're both. But do I see us necessarily? I do think we have money, but the logic coming out of the club is that we probably won't do this because finances have to be stretched and are scarce. Do we have 40 odd million for Thomas Partey? Atletico Madrid said they want that paid. You know, there's no way around it. We want his release clause, so you have to pay that 40 odd million, however much it is. You know, it's anything from 40 to 60 million for an hour, depending on what you read. So you're looking at best 80 million, at worst 100 odd on two players. Are we get that probably? You know, I don't know what that means for Sabaus's deal, because there's talk of renewing that, and there is probably a loan fee to go with that. You got to throw that in, and that's three midfielders. That undoubtedly makes our squad better, and I'd be happy with that, you know. And then you've got to talk about Gabriel, because a lot of us fans, what we forget is, you know, you've got to factor in everything into the transfer fee, not just the transfer fee. There's wages and things in terms of our outlook. Are we going to be able to? Is our finances going to stretch that far? On one hand, you could, you know, if we get rid of certain players and we're a bit creative, can we do certain things? Can we do all of that before the season starts? Can we do all of that without getting people off the books? Is another story. But I love Partey, man. The options of our Partey, and obviously Xhaka and Torreira, if Torreira stays, probably will be sold to raise funds. These sort of players, they're better options to flirt with in midfield. You know, it probably means Joe Willett might have to, if you did sign both of them, which won't happen, Joe Willett would probably have to go out on loan, you know, because game time would probably be scarce, in my opinion, but you never know. Someone said, would I take Ibrahima Sangare from Toulouse? Yeah, I would, man. I like him a lot. He could be available for a cheap sort of option. I swear Toulouse got relegated from Liga. So, yeah, I'd be on that. Somebody's asked your predicted lineups for the Community Shield. Well, I've seen no friendlies. I ain't seen us back in training to really predict that. I could just go off, you know, the names of last season that were informed. So we'll have to see, man. We'll have to see. What do I think about the latest edition of Salah? Well, from what I've seen, you know, he's former Feyenoord boy. He's technically decent. He can play for our under 18s and 23s. You know, he provides creativity, because we've seen a lot of our, who I describe as creative players, are going out on loan or stepping up to 23s level. So he's an option to be flirted with between the under 18s and the 23s. And in relation to the 23s level, there's a carrot of him potentially playing there. And for Steve Bold, you know, you've got some good options. You've got George Lewis. You've got him. You've got the lad from Spurs at centre half being signed. You've got Akinola from Huddersfield. He's got some better options. You know, he's a typical Dutch player in that he looks very good technically. He is very good technically, but beyond that, I haven't got much more to say, really and truly. It just screams that Arsenal are, you know, we're just targeting these sort of players. You know, at worst, they present profits for the club. At best, you know, they present first team options. We're taking sort of punts on players, sort of thing. So good luck to him, man. And yeah, man, I just wish it was the Liverpool Salah that was being signed, my guy, man. So it is what it is. What other questions have we got? EG, rank the top European leagues in terms of quality. In terms of quality, what do you mean by quality? Star names or just quality in general? For me, I'll do it on. I'm a big fan of La Liga. I'm going to say La Liga first. I'm going to say La Liga first, Premier League second, no, German League second, Premier League third, Italian League fourth. No. I just enjoy foreign leagues more than I enjoy the Premier League, my guy, man. So in terms of the quality I like to see generally, I prefer to watch the Spanish league. So I'm going to say Spain first. I'm a big fan of the French league, so I'm going to say French second. German league, I like teams. It's a bit different. I could watch every game in France and every game in Spain. I don't really enjoy watching every team in Germany. So I'll put the Premier League there. Then I'll put Germany, and then Italy would be last for me. There are some good games, but yeah, man, Italy's probably the least watched sort of league for me anyway. So see what it is, man. People, make sure you're liking the comments, and you're liking the video, and you're subscribing, and the rest of it, people. So yeah, man, what else have we got? Where's these questions, people? Don't you think basically Gabriel's coming to Arsenal? I don't know. Until I see him holding a shirt, I don't know what's happening, my dude, man. I'm not his agent. I don't know no one at the club like that. So I don't know, man. Thoughts on Torreira? You know me, my guy. I'm a big Torreira fan, man. I'll fight to keep Torreira to the death, man. I feel Torreira's done a bit dirty, and fans have done him a bit dirty. You can't be going from chanting his name to screaming his this and that. Right now, clearly, evidently, he doesn't look like a tactical fit because, Arteta wants Xhaka to do, moving the ball on and being the sort of midfield of the heartbeat of midfield. You've got Ceballos, who's more progressive than him. Torreira, I like Torreira, and at least until we sign Partey, who's slightly different, nobody can put a foot in like Torreira. But Torreira's passing probably isn't seen as progressive enough, and Torreira has struggled for a mixture of messing around with his role, probably did lose his confidence, probably head wasn't in the right place, has had some injuries. But I'm a big fan of Torreira, man. I think it's worth keeping even if Partey does come, because I think I'd love to flirt between the option of, if we play in a city where we're not going to beat them for quality, let's work very hard to flirt with the option of Partey and Torreira, or either one, or one off the bench to accompany the other. I think it's worth keeping, really. I would love to have a Partey, Aouar, Torreira, Xhaka. There would be the four guys to get game time, major game time for me, people. So Ceballos would be, I wouldn't, I don't really think I think if you got both of them, you wouldn't really need to really renew Ceballos' deal, but would take it. But it then goes back to selling, meaning that, Joe Willock probably has to go. And, I have purposely not mentioned Guendouzi because it seems like his days here are numbered. But I would understand the logic if Partey and / or either one of Aouar was brought in. It's more so Partey if Torreira was let go, really and truly, mainly just to raise funds. Because when you look at him, Guendouzi, Maitland-Niles, just on the basis of holding signed for 2 million, so you can anything else should be profit sort of thing. These are the couple of players in our team that can actually raise value, because the players that we actually need to move on more urgently than these names, people, they're not as good realistically. You're going to struggle because on top of trying to offer them for bargain prices, they've all basically got high wages. Like, with all due respect to Socrates, are you going to give Socrates 95 bags a week? You're not going to do it, are you? It's not going to make sense to you. So it's a bit gazy with that one, really. Don't know, my guy, Mr. 49. I'll be there at Turkish's stream. And are you going to be on Rance's one later? Yeah, I am, man. We're streaming, man. I thought I had to get one on my channel done, a little quick thing, and I'm going to try and be back again tonight. I'm not promising nothing, so please do not get on to me if you're not here. But I'm trying to do the stream thing properly, man. We need some moderators, so we're going to pattern that. But at the same time, yeah, man, I thought, let me just jump in real quickly. The real Janice has said, what do you think of the hour of AS Roma? I like him, man. He's a decent player, man. He can put a foot in. And again, if Torreira leaves and you bring him in, I don't mind him, really and truly. I'm not going to lie to you lot. Somebody said, oh, good question. If you had those players you mentioned, where do you think we'd finish? So if we, assuming you mean if we signed Gabriel, if we brought in Aouar and Partey, and I think I said Ceballos, Ceballos renewal. I'm not going to say we're going to definitely finish there, but for me, it significantly strengthens our case of getting top four, and definitely makes me a bit more motivated for top four, because I do think with Gabriel, with Saliba, they're going to need time to adapt and things like that. Equally for these players, even though I want them to hit the ground running, with what Arteta's shown me with, early, he can change up the team formation when needed. He understands players, he's coaching players and making them better. There's better structure. I do believe with better players in the structure, marrying it together, it's just a case of, can we do it? Can we all gel it in? Can we be consistent? If we do that, I see no reason why we can't fight for top four and have a real strong case to get in top four, my guy. But again, the first word you've said in that sentence, if we can bring in even one, it's a blessing. But I'm not too sure, man. I'm not too sure. I would love it. It would, listen, I would be ready to scream top four. I'm trying to be a bit more diplomatic right now, as you can see from my reactions, but it's a big if. I appreciate that there, Froggy, man. You talk enough sense, top sense. Thank you very much, man. You're proper captain material. Aye, man, you lot are not going to let me live after that little clip, innit? Oh, man. I can't speak for no one else, my people, then. But, I'm not going to be I'm 25, Can't be no footballer. That ship has sailed. It's Sunday League. But for me, Sunday League means the fucking world to me, because first and foremost, the fact that I'm not a pro baller, the fact of it's a blessing if you can get paid to play football. I'm paying to play football. That means I want it the most. Like, I want it. I don't want to lose. Like, we're not going to win mad titles and do mad things, but I don't want to lose. Like, I think I owe it to myself to give as much. And I don't like to shout at man and stuff, but I feel with the team that my guys running, people are kind of struggling, with the mentality. Like, I'm the most unserious guy off the field, but when it gets time to the warm up, I'm switching on, and it comes down to, you lot didn't see it, but we're there caught flat footed. We're flat footed. We're doing passing drills to warm up. We're caught flat footed. the chit chat is still there, so the mentality is not there. So when you go onto the field, you're gonna get smacked. And they beat us 6-1, but I feel for us, for 10 minutes we were kind of on it. We missed our chances. The goals we conceded, they scored some bangers, but we done it to ourselves, and it means a lot for me. And for me, football, I ain't no rich done or no mad smart done. So football is something that's enjoyable for me. It allows me to escape my issues and stuff like that and whatnot, man. And it gives you, it's only Sunday league, but it gives you something to want to motivate yourself to develop and be better at and things like that. So yeah, man, let me live for that comment, people. I don't know why the man them. I got onto my guy's recording. I didn't even see him. I was like, what are you doing that for? I hope that doesn't become a regular thing. But it's nice that it's been so well received. I love it, bro. Don't know my guy for that one though, man. Someone said, what position do you play? I'm a right back, but I was playing left back. And I even got last game, I got to live a little movie playing in midfield. I got to, I'm claiming it as an assist. Basically, I crossed the ball and it was a penalty. So you know me, I got to shake that, people. I got to claim that as an assist. Nah, man. I used to be a striker, but clearly I wasn't good enough there because I've just clearly been going back, man. So sadly, I'm just a right back and a left back. But if you want to be a midfielder and you can say you'll cover me, go on the overlap, then I'm gonna do that thing, my guy, man. Somebody said, DG, would you buy a backup left back? I just let Saka do it for now. I do think I'd be open to assessing that area and bringing one in, but I think we've got Saka that could do that. You've got Tierney there. I think it could be done. It'd be all right. I would sell Kolasinac if he doesn't leave. It's not that deep, but I do think he's not necessarily, we can't really be giving 100 bags to our third choice left back. And when he does get thrown in, we don't know what we're going to get in 10 games. So it just hasn't worked out. So let's just move him on, sort of thing, really and truly, to be completely honest with you lot. What else have we got? Would Arsenal finish ahead of Spurs? Well, we need to, man. I've gone from never seeing that in my lifetime to seeing that a bunch of times, people. So yeah. You're 25. I thought you were about 20. I mean, I've got younger, so I'll take that, my guy, man. I'll take that. He's saying the facial hair coming doing bits. Only thing I can't do. So yeah, man, ain't no fault. Sometimes I see your face matching Sadio Mane, bro. It'd be easy, man. I'll still take your woman. Calm yourself down. Know your levels. That's what someone said, Neek. I don't know why someone's telling me about that. What other questions, man? Because I need to keep it moving. We got 9 minutes. In fact, we got 5 minutes. Let's say it's 5. Make sure you like in the comments, people, because I need to go do something before I jump on Turkish's thing. Stevens has said, would you take Pellegrini or Benrahma if we can't sign Coutinho? The Coutinho talk's gone a bit down, my guy. I don't know what's happened. It seems like the Coutinho talk is nobody's kind of speaking about it. It's kind of quiet. So it's maybe the boat sailed for that one. I would take Benrahma. I think he's a baller. And I would take Pellegrini as well. Who wouldn't, man? They'd both help us out. Benrahma's a winger, obviously, and I think maybe with signing Willian, I know there's a lot of talk from people, including the manager, of him playing as a 10. But maybe the club will think, we've signed Willian, we've just bought Pepe, basically. We've got Nelson, we've got the emerging Saka this year, and Martinelli, who at the start of last season weren't really involved in first team matches, really, until the latter stages. They might say to shell out 30 million on a centre-half, on a winger where we want to sign a centre-half, and it might be costly outlays for or Partey or Aouar. Maybe the ship has sailed. I was on the Benrahma train, but it seems like that one has gone, really and truly. Somebody asked me Chambers or Holding. If it came to, I would say Holding, but I actually feel this season Chambers, from what I've seen, so I'd more so sell Holding. So yeah, man, that one there's gone. Don't know, my guy, man. Trust me, man. Hopefully we get to 30k. Hopefully, man, we keep working. Thank you for the super chats as well, people, throughout this. And I've been seeing a lot of PayPal donations as well. Thank you very much, people. It helps us build. It helps us do several things. What are your thoughts on Pat Rice leaving? Well, I've done a video about it, and obviously someone that's been at the club more time than I've been alive. I have sympathy for him, man. Like, he's a local hero, really. He's held many positions at this club. He's done it with integrity. He's been a former player. It's very upsetting knowing that someone that's part of the furniture and has been for a very long time has to lose his job, and it's sad, really and truly, man. The man's even had time to defeat cancer, all while playing for managing Arsenal in his own little job role and things like that. So it's sad to see Pat Rice go, man. I mean, if you love Arsenal, you love Pat Rice, and all I can do is say, I don't know if he's choosing to retire now. All I can do is say thank you, Pat Rice, for obviously the years of service you've given to Arsenal. Even saying years is an understatement, you know. Very few people can claim to be Mr. Arsenal, and he's one of them that can. So, you know, if it is to be retirement, you can retire with pride. If it's not, I wish you the best on all your endeavors, people. So yeah, man, is what it is in that regard. Somebody said let DG go, man. Come on, we've got a couple questions, man. We've got 2 minutes. Someone like Pereira, maybe, but who knows? Maybe, but who knows? More grace in your endeavors. Don't know, my guy, man. I appreciate that. It means a lot. What else have we got? Calm down, man. He's Sir Pat Rice. Has he been knighted? Relax, man. Relax, man. Come on. Big up Pat Rice anyways. Man. Lacazette or Douglas Costa, they play 2 different positions, but I wouldn't mind Douglas Costa on the flanks, and I wouldn't want to get rid of Lacazette to bring in Douglas Costa if that's what you're asking me. You're doing great. Thank you very much still, Lenny, man. I don't know, my guy, man. You know, rumors don't mean anything. And typically, you know, in the last couple of years since Wenger and them man left, I know there's been heavy rumors and stuff, but more time, things happen at Arsenal where you don't really see it. You know, when Arteta was coming, it was out of the thin air, really and truly. It picked up wind quickly. Even Emre, a lot of people were claiming they knew what going on. Then we brought in Emre. Even, I know it's only youth football, but with the signings of these couple of youth footballers as well, you know, sometimes Arsenal, you don't really see what they're trying to do. So, yeah, man. Is what it is. In that regards, I really got to keep it moving. So let's get one more question in for you lot, man. Let's get one more question. Yeah, he was a baller a few years ago still. Last one. Would you be happy with Lacazette sold and Zaha in? I'm a fan of Zaha. I wouldn't say happy. I'd say I'd take that because I do think we need a striker. I think people underestimate, even if they think Lacazette is underwhelmed, the fact of having a striker in our team in addition to Aubameyang. Like in an ideal world, I'd like to go Saka, Pepe, and Aubameyang, but equally, I don't rule out Aubameyang on the flanks and Lacazette. I think Lacazette as a plan B striker is accepting that he's calm in that role. You know, the hold-up play and all the things he gives us. With Zaha, you know, his productivity numbers this year have been a bit poor and it's very subjective how you look at it. But I wouldn't mind that, you know, if we can bring in, and I don't really think you can class Zaha as this right now, as a goal-scoring winger to make up the deficit, then I guess, you know, I'll be prepared to take that, people. But, you know, someone said, you know, last question, would you take Luis Suarez for 30 million? He's a baller, but we should have been doing that when we was trying to bid 40 million and £1 or whatever it was, my guy. But like I said, people, man, the show isn't over. Make sure you're heading right now. Head over to Turkish's stream. We'll be streaming via his thing, people. Thank you very much for all of you lot that have checked in early morning. I'll do my best to kind of schedule it a bit more and give you lots a bit more of a heads up. This one was firmly just done off the cusp, purely because of a mixture of things. Like I said, obviously, I didn't really want to set up my cameras, and I just wanted to try out this live streaming thing a bit more. I've got to get a bit more comfortable with it. We're going to get the moderators patterned. We're going to see what we can do. So if you want to be a moderator, just comment under the comment section in this video, please, man, because the live chat is going to go. If you can't do that, then I can't see. But on that note, it's always a pleasure. Like I said, man, I'm going to be over on Troops' channel, and then man said Troops. If Troops doesn't shag it, then we should have a little thing on Monday. But in relation to Turkish, head over to Turkish's channel. In relation to what's coming after that, I'll be on Rants and Bants's channel after that with Matisse and that. So make sure, man, there's content galore, you know. Yeah, one love, man. I'm out, people. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe.